Hey, so today I'm answering questions about giving meals. And the question today is, when we give meals to the actors, there are some actors who have special dietary needs, and if so, how do we fit that into the budget? Well, you should already have like a sense of what food is going to cost you. And unless every single actor and crew member is like, I don't eat meat, I don't do gluten, I don't do, and you have to get something special for each person, it won't really make that much of a difference on your budget. So let's say you have a 10-person crew and a 5-person cast. That was just randomly picked that. And it tends to be like some of the crew sometimes are gluten-free and like the actors. So let's say you have 3 people that need a special dietary need. You've already said I'm buying, such and such and such for everybody. And then you can either get a special meal and just be like, will this be okay for you with the actor or actress or crew person? Or you can just do a global, this food has no gluten in it, because the people who eat gluten aren't going to miss the gluten. And although the people who eat meat are going to miss the meat. As a meat eater, if I don't have that as a protein choice, I'm not going to feel good, the second half of the day. For me, it's a necessary nutritional thing when I'm working 12 hours. So that is important. And I will say this, as somebody who doesn't eat gluten and who likes a lot of protein and fat in their diet. I am a keto kind of person at the moment. I just anticipate that I'm going to need to bring my own stuff. So I've worked on sets. I had one where I was line producing and the woman had everything processed. These horrible baked beans. I didn't have any say in craft service. I love feeding people healthy organic food that's like gonna make them like be raring to go in the afternoon and ready and stoked and feel like cared for, because they're caring for my production. And I want them, I think MSG makes people has emotional effects on people and like that whole thing. So I don't want to deal with that as a producer. So I'm like, here, take the best food I can manage. And so but she was just like processed everything. And on that set, I brought hard-boiled eggs for myself. And that sucked because I had to think about, that was another thing I had to think about to take care of myself for, several weeks. But, I got it done. And so you don't really want to do that. She was a bad producer, and therefore reflecting on me a little bit, which was disappointing because I never would have done that had it been my choice. But she originally asked me to cook. Nah, I don't think so. So can you imagine? Hi, I'm your producer and your cook. Anyway, that's a whole other story. Anyway, so I'm smiling, but I'm still seething inside. So yeah, in your budget, it's always a ballpark, and it's always, going a little bit higher in your numbers than you anticipate on spending, just in case you have someone who is a vegetarian or whatever, and you do the best that you can. And they look at your budget usually and they go, I know that you can do this and I'll work out the rest. So, and usually people are okay with that. And it really also depends on what level you're working on. If we're talking now, you're working on a SAG set and your budget's, several $100,000, then we are going to have a different conversation. But because most of the things that I teach are about short films, even if it's like a 2-week short film, if your budget is not, blockbuster, and usually it is limited because you're doing so many things with like a finite budget, you don't, and food is important, but you also want it to show on set with good prop pieces and makeup and all that. I always have space in the budget for that kind of stuff. I always leave space in the budget for that kind of stuff. I haven't had a problem fulfilling people's needs of vegetarianism or gluten-free or anything. So that's my answer for you. I hope that was clear. And you do want to cater to them too. And you want to find out maybe as early as possible, if you're worried about it, what people's dietary needs are, especially if they're, in this day and age. When I was doing this, even like 10 years ago when I was producing and I'd ask this question, like, what are your dietary needs? Maybe one person would say like, oh, I don't eat meat. And it was like, ooh, she's asking, how nice of her. Now it seems like a vast necessity. It's like every single set I produce for, it's like, yeah, there's like 5-10 people who can't eat nuts, who can't eat, which like, you know, there are certain meals you've had that have been like, you know, Indian or Thai where like, oh, you can't have that peanut sauce. Okay, you know, and so you know, there's more considerations about sensitivities and allergies. So definitely ask the question. And I hope this helps. The best choice for your group meal then, like what you're feeding the majority of people, is to try and keep most of those allergens out while still making it delicious and healthy and high quality. So that's my answer. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you soon.